they got to do something, right? They got to hemorrhage the losses. How do they do that? Well, for starters, maybe you spend a little less money on the payroll. That's what's going on over at CNN. They can't afford all those high-priced anchors over there. So now we're getting word that one of the biggies has been fired. Chris Wallace seems to be the first victim of those layoffs. There's going to be more. The expectation is they are going to get rid of some of the high-priced talent because it's just a different medium, right? Like it just doesn't make any sense anymore to pay these huge rates. So he's gone. He was let go. He's trying to say he's going to like pursue a podcast. We wish him luck. But the network overall has revealed that they're going to have mass layoffs. And it's very interesting to me that Chris was the first to go. You know, there's an article, let me see if I can find it for you, in Puck News. Again, sort of a new media company, right? And Puck News actually points out that they were canceling his shows. He has 2 shows that, you know, I didn't even know were actually on. I thought it was part of their digital platform. Remember they had the digital platform and then they canceled the digital platform because that was a disaster. And then somehow he still had these 2 shows. I don't know where they aired, but they were getting rid of both of them because apparently nobody watched them if they did air. And so those were gone. And they were paying him a lot of money, millions of dollars. So thus is the reality of the world. Now, he will spin it. He's trying to get ahead of the news and say, I'm going to go do a podcast. Good luck. I'm not sure who's going to listen because I'm not really sure what he stands for other than more establishment. And he's not even establishment enough. I mean, at least Rachel Maddow takes you down the rabbit hole of conspiracy theories in a rather entertaining way. If Chris is just trying to be middle of the road, but he's not really middle of the road, he's really actually pretty left, then that's not going to have a market. Like there's no one that wants to see that. Remember this great clip I've showed you guys before, but it's epic. You've got to watch it. This is Donald Trump and Chris Wallace back in 2020. And, you know, Wallace is trying to pin him down. I'm sure he was so happy he finally got an interview with the president. I don't think the president liked him very much. And the president will come on my show and go on with Maria Bartiromo or Lou Dobbs. But he really didn't like going on with Chris Wallace. Nothing against Chris. I'm sure he's a perfectly nice guy. Or not. Anyway, here we go.
We have the 7th highest mortality rate in the world. Our mortality rate is higher than Brazil. It's higher than Russia. And the European Union has us on a travel ban.
Yeah, I think what we'll do, well, we have them on a travel ban too, Chris. I closed them off. If you remember, I was the one that did the European Union very early. But when you talk about mortality rates, I think it's the opposite. I think we have one of the lowest mortality rates in the world.
We're going to take a look. We had 900 deaths on a single day.
We will take a look.
This week.
Ready?
You can check it out.
Could you please get me the mortality rate?
Yeah.
Kaylee's right here. I heard we had one of the lowest, maybe the lowest mortality rate anywhere in the world. Do you have the numbers, please? Because I heard we had the best mortality rate.
The case rate of similarly situated countries, as Dr. Burks points out, and this is
Number 1 low mortality rate. I hope you show this scenario because it shows what fake news is all about. Okay,
I don't think I'm fake news, but we'll put we'll put our stats on.
You said we had the worst mortality rate in the world.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So there you go, right? Like that's par for the course. This is the kind of thing that was going on with the mainstream media in general overall. And this is what everybody is so darn sick of. Really, really sick of. I mean, why are we having to deal with that kind of spin, this nonsense all the time? Like you can't actually look at the real numbers. I mean, I'm blown away by, you know, is he a nice guy? I don't know. I will tell you, I think Tucker had a description of him as being kind of like ornery. And yes, I have worked with him in various, you know, live event situations where he definitely had some issues and was very demanding of producers. I mean, I get it, right? Like, you know, you're trying to, actually, as I am talking to you in real time, I'm trying to figure out something on the computer here so that we can get some more elements to you. But I think that is fundamentally sort of the problem there, that there's a bias and that bias cannot be ignored ever. So Chris Wallace is out of a gig. Chris Wallace is the first of the casualties there at CNN to go. And I would expect that we're going to see a few more along the way, right? At CNN, maybe MSNBC, and some of these others, because this is a whole new ballgame right now, ladies and gentlemen. It's just a different world, a very, very different world.